Thank you for joining us. My name is Geraldine Jerry Burton, and I work with CTAC, the Community Technical Assistance Center, and I want to welcome you to our webinar, Community Involvement in Behavioral Health Agencies. This webinar has been pre-recorded. The focus of today's webinar is to offer recommendations to improve community involvement practices in your behavioral health agency. Here at CTAC, we think it is critical to develop a set of processes to integrate community participation and the community's voice in your work. Throughout today's webinar, our presenters will share their experiences working with behavioral health agencies to better work with community members and offer a strategy you and your team can take to more efficiently involve the community in the practices of your agency. Our agenda for today's webinar is as follows. Welcome and introductions. What is community? The definition of community involvement. We will discuss strategies for community involvement, and we will end with key takeaways. Our learning objectives for today are: the participants will have a better understanding of the benefits and challenges of involving the community in your agency. You will learn strategies for effective community involvement, and you will also learn how to implement strategies for community involvement by involving the framework Learn, Listen, Inform, and Involve. From the local school, church, housing development, local community district, etc., our presenters for today are no strangers with being involved with the community in various capacities. And who we are as follows: yours truly, Geraldine Jerry Burton, parent partner trainer and co-lead for the CTAC Family Support; Janet Watson, research scientist coordinator, parent advocate, and Community Collaborative Board Vice Chair; Ida Ortiz, parent advocate, research scientist coordinator, Community Collaborative Board member; and Irvin Torres, research scientist coordinator, parent advocate, and Community Collaborative Board member. As we were preparing for this webinar and discussing community, we discovered that all of us define community differently. As we begin, we would like for you to please take a moment and think about how you define community. For the purpose of this presentation, we think it is important to establish a shared definition of community. We will share our definition of community on the next slide. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Janet Watson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be talking to you about what is community. Community, everyone has their own definition of what a community is. We traditionally think of community as people in a given geographical location. Community really refers to any group of people sharing something in common. For example, this may refer to different geographic areas like neighborhoods, housing project development, and rural areas. In a community, there are different types of ethnic groups of people that share the same concerns for their community. They are people that know how to be sociable with each other and share the same values or identity and profession. Numerous amount of agencies, organizations, whole sole purposes is to serve the community, such as health centers, urgent care, after-school programs, dental, soup kitchens, etc., which are accessible to the people of each neighborhood. Programs also available to help nurture, develop, and provide health services for all individuals of the community in need. It's having the main essential needs for everyday life. It's important to understand community, what a community is, and the specific nurture of the community we work in. Anything that we do in a community requires us to be familiar with its people, their issues, their history, and building a relationship is far more likely to be successful if we are informed by and having an understanding of the relationship among individuals and groups within the community. Community involvement. What is community? Community involvement is the process of partnering with community members, organizations, and agencies to identify community needs and priorities, attend to their concerns, develop a process of shared decision-making, and collaborate in initiatives for effective change. So here are some examples that I'm going to give to you about community involvement. It can be a bit beneficial to collaborate and get involved in the community by increasing collaboration, partnership with parents, schools, and community involvement. Also encouraging the community by offering employment, other services that will benefit the community. You can do this by making your agency more visible by participating in local activities, such as attending community board meetings or local school board meetings. Your agency may also want to develop new policies and practices to improve the community representation in the organization. For example, incorporating peer services or hiring community members as a part-time or full-time staff. You can also consider creating a community collaboration board or community staff. For example, I am a co-chair of the McSilver Institute Community Collaborative Board, which was created in 1999 with Dr. Mary McKay, who came from Chicago. She met with the parents from our community and health agency to talk about the concerns that we had in our community. So what we did, we created a community collaborative board because we all were concerned parents living in the community about issues our community was facing. As a collaborative board, we met twice a month and we talked about how can we improve these issues. Some of these opportunities led to employment, new program development, conferences, presentations, and research projects. So now that we know how we can get involved, so now Ms. Ada is going to talk to you a little about what are the benefits of involving the community in your agency. Ada?
Thank you, Janet. Hi, my name is Aida Ortiz. Are we talking about what are the benefits of involving the community in your agency? Provide better and more effective services. When the community is involved, they have ownership of the decision-making process, which is a key to a successful outcome. Even if not all individuals necessarily agree, expanding access to resources offered by your agency increases the service offered by your agency. Community involvement allows the community to better understand what the agency provides. Bringing together the community and an agency can create an alliance where there was little contact before. Working together towards common goals can help break down barriers and misconceptions and enable them to trust each other. Collaborate with like-minded individuals. As an agency, you can offer recommendations and identify programs that can benefit the community. Early engagement leads to increased ownership and support. Community members can give you a new perspective on ideas and identify potential hurdles you didn't see. Develop a process towards sustainable changes. Develop a stronger partnership with your community and other agencies that are working together to better the community you live in. Sustainable changes take place over a period of time. First, you need to gain each other's trust by sharing ideas and understanding the real issues of the community. For an example, our community collaborative board consists of parents, social workers, and health agency members. We talked about how can we help families with stress, give them support, and reduce kids' behavioral difficulties. Clinics had a lot of families with children with behavioral difficulties who were experiencing stress. We listened to what the community needed. Parents were able to speak about what they needed help with. The Community Collaborative Board collaborated with social workers, health organizations, and community members, created a manual with everyone's input and needs of the community. The program was called Multifamily Group, MFG. This program took place in clinics. The groups were facilitated by members from our Community Collaborative Board and social workers. Family loved the program because it helped their families with difficulties they were dealing with as a family. The MFG program was revised and is now called 4 R's and 2 S's. Involving the community in your agency is beneficial for each other. It develops a better understanding of what can help make change in the community and in your agency. Now I'm going to talk about what are challenges in involving the community. Community members who contribute to the planning process will better understand and will be more likely to stay involved. Successful community involvement is based upon information and dialogue. Building trust with community members is one of the biggest challenges. People in the community don't trust others that come into their community. To build trust with the community is to give them an opportunity to get involved in the process. Not only language and stress are barriers, it's important to get to know the different cultures in your community. Personal insecurities like education, immigration status, criminal status, parents with ACH cases can be a challenge. Get to know who lives in the community you work in. Listen to others and work towards understanding your community to be more open to others' ideas that your agency might not agree with. Community members may have special issues or concerns, such as work schedules, school, location, etc. If incorporated, may help reduce the likelihood of challenges. People work and live in different areas in the community, and this can cause difficulties for them to get to the meetings. Think about where people are traveling from, and if possible, compensate their travels. Stress can also be a challenge when trying to get the community involved. These stresses can create difficulties within the community. Express your opinion about the agency's goal to better improve the community. People have very busy schedules, and it is important to take into consideration when scheduling meetings. Think about what benefit will people from the community bring to your agency, and what does your agency want to accomplish by working with the community. Now I'm going to talk about what are some ways to attend these challenges. Establish guidelines for participation in agency and community activities. How does the message fit with the mission, vision, and services your agency and community want? Treating people with respect, listening to them, and learning from them will go a long way toward building a successful program. Ensure that all that is spoken is confidential and safe. Balanced participation. Participation helps to motivate people to work together to better their own lives and their community. Make sure there is a good balance between dividing the responsibility between people from the agency and the community. Accommodate schedules. Work schedules, school locations can be some challenges. Your agency may help reduce these challenges by asking your community and involving them in finding what best works with your agency and their schedules. Ensure diverse representation. Embracing everyone's culture, tradition, and experiences is critical. People from the community can help to identify what they need from the agency. Your agency can offer suggestions and ideas and identify programs that benefit the community. Minimize language barriers. Anticipate language barriers and obstacles before they might arise. By doing so, you can get around them. Provide information in their primary language when possible. Analyzing community problems can also help you understand the resources you need for a greater chance of success. Compensate for travel. Travel can also be a big challenge. If your agency allows community members to get compensated for their time and effort. Now Irvin will be talking about strategies behavioral health agency can take for effective communication.
Thank you, Ida. My name is Irvin Torres. We are going to talk about strategy of affecting community involvements. We believe there are 4 key ingredients to improve an agency involving with the community and vice versa. During this section, we will explain how a community member, how hard their strategy works for them, and the importance of each. Strategy for community involvement. We believe it is critical to focus on learning, listening, informing, and involvement. The community as it affects ways to make you a better member for any community and agency. Now I will pass it to Jerry to start us off and discuss the process of learning about the community.
Thank you, Irvin. Here's a quote from one of the members of the McSilver Community Collaborative Board. Learn about our culture and how the community works before you approach us. For example, be aware that the Bronx has high rates of HIV. This is an opportunity to show the community that you have a genuine interest and have taken the time and effort to know who they are. Learn. Be prepared to learn about the community. It's important to have an understanding of the community that you work in. This will help in making the partnership a positive experience. Schedule meetings whenever possible to get input from your staff on how best to get client and community feedback into your policy and practice. Listen to what people have to say and take notes. Find out as much about the community as you can about its culture, history, and physical appearance, etc. For example, physical appearances could be the location of stores, the transportation that's in the community, and the living conditions as well. In order to find out more about the community, it's helpful to use different ways of gathering information. For example, you can use written or oral surveys. You can do interviews, be it individual interviews or group interviews, or you can utilize public records. Observation can be done in many ways. You can do a walking tour of the community, take pictures, or even do a video. Now I'm turning it over to Irvin.
Thank you, Jerry. The next strategy of effective community involvement is to develop a process to listen to each other. Each member shares a goal of importance to create status and present issues. You as a behavioral health agency must be open to listen to not only ensure that you understand the people, but also you show that you care about what people are saying. This quote from a community member explains it well. She says, "It is very important that we listen to each other. If we are going to serve the community, we need to realize and learn that we each have different talents, and we can only move forward if we respect each other." Establishing connection. When both the community and agency have an interest in improving the community and can benefit from the connection made between both parties. In order of a partnership to be successful, every voice must be heard. Explain your network by engaging multiple people of different backgrounds that represent and makes up for the community. Developing a shared language and common. The benefit can be most easily earned as an enrollment free of judgment. Realize that everyone has their own experience and bringing a unique voice to the board. Listening can increase knowledge and skills that are benefit to build a connection between the community and agency for a common goal. Listening can guide you to identify how to educate, inform, and deliver the right service. Now I will pass it to Ida.
Thank you, Irvin. Now I'm going to talk about inform. Here's another quote from the members of the McSilver Community Collaborative Board. She had lived in the community for more than 21 years. She became involved after her son brought home a letter describing the program. She's feeling more empowered as a board member and enjoys doing something for the community. Inform is not just the agency informing the community, but is also the community informing the agency. We are going to talk about how this is a two-way street. Inform is very important. It is a way to communicate what your agency wants to bring to the community. Build awareness of common issues and challenges in your community. Elaborate. Say what are the intentions and concern of your agency. Increase awareness of the services offered by your agency by sharing information through flyers, posters, and even written information that is easy for everyone to understand. Only an informed community can be part of a decision-making process. Introduce new challenge strategies and approaches for collaboration. You have to get to know its people, their culture, their concerns. Don't ignore the strengths of your community and agency. It's a two-way street. Your community and agency have valuable resources to offer. Building trust and empowering the community to partner with agency can result in social benefits for staff and community to form networks and friendship through collaboration. Focus not only on what your agency wants, but also on the community needs. It's important for your agency to get informed and understand your community and their concerns. Define a clear partnership. Develop action-oriented message that will help inform your community of your efforts. What you say gives community members the knowledge to understand and work towards common goals. Define a clear message of what your agency needs and how the community can help. Now I'm going to pass it down to Janet that will be talking about Involve.
Thank you, Ida. Here's another quote. We want your help for our children and families, but we must be involved. Now that my colleagues have talked about learn, listen, and inform, so now we're going to talk about being involved. Keeping because these four strategies you would need to use in your collaborate and work with the community. So here are some examples of being involved. Maintain a positive strength-based attitude to help encourage others and build stronger relationships. Maintaining a positive attitude will not only engage others, but it will create a free environment which will encourage others and help make them feel comfortable to bring forth ideas and willingly display strength to be and feel a part of the team. Also, development the shared sense. This method will define teamwork and show with collaborative ideas. Their strengths and strategies, everyone will have a piece of the pie. Everyone will have shared sense of ownership to what is being brought forth. Follow-up. This is one of the key things that everyone loves. Everyone loves a good follow-up, whether it's from services they put out or services they receive. By doing this, it will show the community you care and want to keep them up to date with what's going on. Everyone loves the sense of being a part of something, and by actually keeping the community involved will help maintain relationships, positivity, and trust. Asking questions, including everyone in all aspects of decision-making, shows you how serious about engaging and involving everyone in the process. This shows the community that they can trust you, because trust is very important. Also hold a regular schedule meeting, keeping things on track, and in order will show you have things under control with daily plans and activity. So keeping schedule is very important. If a program or initiative is developed, including everyone who helped with the chosen program will also create trust and show loyalty. Now I'm going to pass it over to Ida, and she will be continuing with ways to involve the community.
Thank you, Janet. We're going to talk about ways to involve the community, hiring from the community. We think that you can take these steps to begin that process. Here is an example of how you can incorporate the learn, listen, inform, and involve strategies from improving hiring practices and hiring people from the community to have a workforce that is more representative and inclusive. Learn. You want to give a sense of employment rate of the community, their common professions. Maybe in your community there are a lot of Spanish speakers or people who work through the evening. You can learn about their skills and experiences, their interests. This is what you want to do before you can get started to interact with the community. You want to learn about them. Listen. Then you want to interact with the community. You listen. You hear from them what is missing and needed. Also, what the agency can provide. For an example, maybe the agency needs longer hours because of the community members work during the hours of the agency is open. Or maybe the receptionist needs to be bilingual in order to communicate clear what services are being offered. Even having a peer on board as part of the services delivery has shown to be beneficial. Having community members is to have shared experience, work with clients as peer advisor also can be beneficial. Inform is the process of sharing job posting through multiple channels, making sure you're meeting people where they're at, like where they're frequent, maybe a grocery store, or posting employment through local newspapers, flyers, and etc. Involve is beginning the hiring process, is beginning to interview candidates and to really think about the role this person can take in your agency. Irvin will be talking about ways to develop a community advisory board.
Thank you, Ida. Now the way to involve in the community. Before developing a community collaborative board, an agency must learn about the community history to better serve the community or its surroundings. Community collaborative board should be open to the public to give the community the opportunity to join and express their opportunities, their opinions. When informed the community, the board needs to show the value of the program and what solution it will take to solve poverty or concerns within the surrounding community, mentioning such as appointments, network, and future communication. The community board needs to keep the community interest by maintaining the program or meeting creative, but also keep an open and understanding communication to all board members and the community attending. This will help the community to stand united. And now I pass it to Jerry.
Thank you, Irvin. I will be discussing ways to involve the community. Learn. Be prepared to learn from the community. Approach the process with an open mind. It's important to know who is in the community and what they bring to the table to have appropriate representation from all sectors of the community. Having diverse points of view at the table helps to make better decisions. Listen. Consider having an open house or meet and greet and invite local community leaders from various organizations to give input and share concerns. This is another opportunity to get additional information about the community. Listen to what people have to say, observe carefully, take notes. That way you can use them later to generate new questions or to help answer old questions. This will lead to getting a better understanding of concerns and experiences. Inform. The leader of the community initiative and/or the discussion leader should introduce themselves and provide information about their organization. Allow all participants to do so as well. Discuss where there are gaps in services, compare notes, and brainstorm ways this can be addressed. Involve. Establishing relationships with a variety of community leaders and members is probably the most important thing you can do to ensure that you'll be able to get the information you need and that you'll have support for working in the community. After all, this is a partnership, and it's important to have at all times a community member at the table in all phases of your board planning process to make sure the community voice is represented. It is also a reminder to us why we do what we do and how important the work that the agency does is in the lives of real people and communities. Here are our key takeaways. In order for this partnership to be successful, it's important to engage the community and build a positive relationship. These things will lead to more active participation. Community participation is a partnership and an ongoing process. Once the partnership is organized, it leads the way for flexibility, creativity, and informed decision-making. It's important to be clear from the beginning regarding what you what you can and cannot do. If it's not clear, the partnership may experience disappointment issues that cannot be addressed. If the community members understand their participation to mean one thing and the providers hold a different view, effective participation may be problematic. Over time, there may be new issues or different approaches to resolving previously identified issues. Working together in partnership will be beneficial in being successful. Participating in a partnership can be time-consuming. Learn, listen, inform, and involve are the key ingredients for making a sustained, productive, and successful partnership. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Ida.
Thank you, Jerry. Here are some additional resources like Community Toolbox. The vision behind the Community Toolbox is that people locally and globally are better prepared to work together to change conditions that affect their lives. Their mission is to promote community health and develop by connecting people, ideas, and resources. Engaging your community, a toolkit for partnership. This toolkit is intended to assist organizations in partnership, implementing innovative outreach strategies, and develop robust communication that target a diverse organization and population in their communities. Community Collaborative Partnership by Dr. Mary McCain, Community Collaborative Partnership, the Foundation for HIV Prevention Research Effort, is a must-read for everyone interested in developing prevention programs within high-risk urban environments. Voices from the community. When community members are allowed to participate in the planning and implementation process of a program, they are empowering themselves and their community. This is located on page 312 through 330 from Dr. Mary McKay's book, Community Collaborative Partnership. I want to take the time to thank everyone. This is our contact information. If you need to get in contact with us. I want to thank our presenters and everyone for joining our webinar today.